Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to have videos of the paid request. It's time for Jonathan. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, reviews, topics, reactions, re-reviews, commentaries, video game playthroughs, what have you, PayPal's usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. Now, I recorded this review, and then of course when it went from here to the computer, it screwed up, so then I lost it. So I'm here, I'm doing a review again, but that's fine. It states on a Plane, the 2006 film. And right off the bat, I've always enjoyed this film. It's silly, it's goofy, I think it has a charm to it. It's far from perfect, but I think it's fun for what it needed to be. Now, it's directed by a guy named David Ellis, and sadly, he passed away in 2013. Now, this guy's directed a couple other films I enjoyed. Final Destination 2, it's actually my favorite of that franchise. Cellular, I actually quite like that one with Chris Evans, Kim Basinger, Jason Statham, William H. Macy. I think that's a pretty good thriller. Larry Cohen had a hand in coming up with the idea for that movie. I think he helped on the script. But again, sadly, both Larry Cohen and David Ellis passed away. But that director kind of knew I just want to make movies for fun. Kind of strictly for entertainment, not political or any other type of BS. And this is a movie that originally was going to be PG-13. It was going to be much more of a marketed, much safer. The title was going to be Flight. I forget the numbers. Flight something something. And Samuel Jackson said, "Oh, that's stupid. You shouldn't. I mean, the reason I want to do it because the original script was called Snakes on a Plane. You should call it that." And when the word got out about this film, it got a bit of a buzz on the internet. But it became one of those movies that it got a lot of hype on the internet. In fact, it got overhyped to the point that when it came out, nothing happened. It didn't do that well at the box office. It was labeled a disappointment, especially with all the buzz. I think what they failed to realize is a lot of the buzz, it was people making fun of it, saying how stupid it looks, how dumb it looks, or maybe it looks goofy and silly, but I'm not seeing this in theaters. I'll watch it when it comes home video or DVD or wherever the case. Which is what happened. I saw in the theater, it's a pretty straightforward plot. Well, as straightforward as it could be. You have this guy, Nathan Phillips, I believe is his name. Kind of a low rent Chris Pratt, Nathan Fillion. He's there as an actor. He's not that great. He witnesses a murder where this Asian mobster kills this guy who's like a prosecutor. They're trying to kill him. He gets saved by Samuel Jackson, who shoots a couple bad guys, gets him out of there, and says, "We want you in the witness protection, but we also need you to put a dime on this guy. You need to tell people what you saw. You stick with me, I'll protect it, you'll be safe." So you gotta go from pretty much Hawaii to LA. You don't be on this flight. I'll protect you. On the flight, you have a bunch of other stereotypes. You have the rapper, but he doesn't want anything to be touching him or him touching anything. His bodyguard, one of them is Kenan Thompson. Well, I shouldn't say bodyguard, but more of a entourage, I should say. You have Kenan, which I don't mind him in this movie. I like him better here than Good Burger. I know I'm alone in that. Here, I thought he's manageable. I know he makes fun of the rapper, comparing to Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes when he doesn't want stuff touched. Other people, you have the main stewardess. I forgot her name because I'm bad with names. I remember liking her. Let me get that actress real quick. I know, I should have been more prepared. Juliana Margulies. I do like her. I thought she was lively. She wasn't wooden. She had a good head on her shoulders. She worked well with Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson looks like he's having fun with the role. You also have Bobby Cannavale, He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's an agent on the ground who had from time to time talks with Sam on the phone. Lin Shaye, since this is a New Line Cinema film, Robert Shaye was the head of it at the time. Of course, Lin Shaye got to be in a lot of those type of movies with New Line Cinema. She was in a couple of Elm Street films. Later, she'd be her own actress in films like the Insidious movies, among others. But hey, her brother got her in a couple films here. But she's a good actress. She identifies as one of the stewardess who helped save a baby at one point. David Koechner, you've definitely seen him in a bunch of stuff, whether it be the TV show The Office or in the Anchorman movies as Champ Kind. He's been in a lot of stuff. He plays the pilot, a little bit of a redneck type of pilot. You see other people. You have this one lady who's got this little dog with her. You have this stuffy Englishman who's a prick. You have this guy who's like a tip boxer for some reason. Although he doesn't really get to use a whole lot of that during the course of the movie. You have this male stewardess who people assume is gay, so they treat him that way, but you find out at the end, no, yeah, she does have a girlfriend. So it's not the most stellar lineup of characters. I think that does hurt a bit of the first half. Not too much for me, but because I still thought it went at a fast enough pace that I wasn't bored. I didn't mind the musical score. I didn't mind the usage of the songs that they used in this. Even the opening song. Let me see if I get the soundtrack. If it shows here what... it's gonna be a sunny day. It's gonna be... I thought it was a nice peppy song at the start. Because at the end of the day, it's a B movie. At the end of the day, this is just a movie that would have been on Sci-Fi Channel, but they had a bit of a budget to have a bit more of a slick production, a bit of a higher caliber cast like Sam Jackson, and a little bit more pushing the R rating. And maybe that's another reason why I like the film. I appreciate the fact. How many times throughout the years have we talked about how studios don't listen to the fans? Studios don't listen to the audience. Studios don't listen to what is demanded. In this case, they did. Hey, people wanted more R-rated. They want a bit more nudity. They want a bit more violence. There's a bit more mean-spirited violence in it. Let's do whatever you can with a snake or a variety of snakes. Granted, it would have been nice to see more practical effects, but at the same time, I kind of sit here and go, how would you do that with snakes? I guess in a way like Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, but with how the many times they have to attack people, how do you do that all practically? I don't know. That would be an almost impossible task. Because snakes, you can't control them. You can't really train them. I mean, you can't. A lot of these snakes are supposed to be venomous. And you don't really want them near actual human beings. So how the hell would you be able to do that without CGI? Is the CGI that great? No. But it is 2006. This may seem like a cop-out, but I think they did the best they could with the budget they had and with the time period this was made in. And while the effects are not stellar, I like that they were not holding back on what they could do. What I mean by that is, after the 30-some minutes of build-up, which, again, the supporting characters aren't the most memorable. I think they should have concentrated much more on Sam Jackson himself. I think Nathan Phillips, either they should have developed his character a lot better, or they should have picked a different actor. An actor that had a bit more charisma, an actor that had a bit more of that it factor, and create this banter between Sam Jackson and this guy in the vein of Tremors. Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, their dialogue, their banter, their chemistry with each other helps make that film work immensely, even when the creatures, even with the villains, are not on screen. So because I remember even watching it again, I'm like, the first 30 minutes, Sam Jackson's not in this a lot. Like, he pops up from time to time, even on the plane, but then it's like, okay, now we're with this character and this character. And to be honest, a lot of people are not going to care about a whole lot of these other supporting characters. They don't care about the lady or little dog or the stuffy Englishman or the rapper who acts like a dick a lot of the times and, in my opinion, should have been killed off. He's one of those characters that deserve to be killed off. But then don't mind Tina Thompson. Don't mind... I don't know why I'm always forgetting her name now. The Juliana Margulies, the flight attendant. The other characters you're not really going to care one way or another of. But, like I said, the first third of the film, obviously, based on the title, we know how it's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. You're kind of waiting for that shoe to fall. And I still thought I went at a swift pace because of David Ellis' direction. That I'm still kind of curious as to, when I first saw it in the theater, where this is leading up to. And when it hits the fan, I thought they did a nice job giving the audience what they wanted. What I mean by that is, yeah, you're gonna have a couple having sex. You get some titties out. Snake comes up, bites one of the titties, the nipples. Or you have a guy trying to take a leak, and it hits the guy in the dick, and the guy flies back. Not only does he fly back, when he hits it, there's a big blood splatter from his head hitting it. He's like, get off my dick. I did laugh at that. When the snakes and the shit hits the fan, oh, it hits this person in the mouth, it hits this person in the eye, and later on it comes out of the eye. It biting people in the necks, it's spraying people in the face. Now, maybe they could have pushed... Well, I mean, they did... It is an R rating for a good reason. And there are times they do push it. And I'm thankful for that. But with the additional photography. There's a bit where a guy gets trampled, and while they're getting trampled, someone with a heel gets stuck in the guy's ear. There's a bit later on where they're going up the stairs, and there's too many, and some get pushed off, so one falls and gets impaled. One falls and gets their neck impaled. There's some nice mean-spirited stuff. A kid gets bit. Doesn't die, but he does get bit. This little cute dog, the asshole throws the dog, and this big anaconda-looking mofo gets the dog. But that guy, who threw it, he was a dead. He gets his comeuppance later on. So it doesn't shy away. There's nudity, there's violence, there's some mean-spirited violence in it. And after how the movie goes, it doesn't really stop a whole lot. It's pretty much they gotta move further and further up from the plane away from these snakes. Oh, well, the AC's screwing up, and that's going to screw up the instruments. So Sam's got to go in, and, Sam fights the snakes. At one point, finds this little harpoon thing, shoots with a harpoon. At one point, gets this little lighter and makes a little flamethrower with it. Earlier, uses a taser to attack the snakes. You can't use a gun too much because it'll depressurize the whole damn thing. And it's as if the movie itself knew that Nathan Fillions wasn't that interested of a character, because for the most part he's in the background. Even when he's like, oh, I gotta do something. No, you stay here. You be safe. So becomes more and more Sam's movie, as it should. Because I do like Samuel Jackson. I do like some of the lines he says. Like he's talking to the guy on the phone, and he's like, oh, great. Snakes on crack. I remember that getting a laugh in the theater. I remember some of the death scenes getting a jolt from audiences in the theater. When they look up and you see the silhouette of the big anaconda-looking thing and it crashes through. Again, it's like you took a sci-fi SYFY movie, which a lot of them suck, but you give them a slick enough budget, so the filming of it, the lighting, the photography doesn't feel cheap. It did look cheap to me. It looked like a theatrical production. Some of the effects, like of the plane when it has to land, they don't look that bad compared to direct-to-video or cable movies. And sometimes, as pretentious as it sounds, it's nice to see. Because if you don't take the time to watch a movie, you want them to make it look like a movie and not some cheap home film or cheap ass shit that looked like they took 5 days to shoot. There are a lot of moments that you may will make you not roll your eyes. Well, maybe to some, but like I always remember when he says the big line, "I've had with these motherfucking states on this motherfucking plane," and we'll open some windows. He pulls out the gun, but then he puts the gun back in his pants in order to get stuff done. So it's like he pulls out the gun to say the line. Then it's like, oh wait, we gotta do all this stuff. So put the gun back in your hip in order to do stuff, and then you pull the gun out again. It would have made more sense if they did all it, and then he gives a speech. He pulls out the gun, and then. Or he pulls out the gun, and he's a good aim, and he's aiming at the snakes, and he starts shooting the snakes. That's what it should have been, perhaps. He says the line. He sees a bunch of snakes down there. He knows how to aim. Don't hit the windows. But although maybe just it shooting at all would depressurize it. I don't know the details of how that works on planes. But I would figure, I guess for a lot of movies, it's like as long as you don't hit the windows. I don't know if that's just movie logic or real life logic. But I mean, if it states on a plane, and of course, yes, the whole thing is ridiculous. If the bad guy wants to kill a witness, and they know which plane it is, which we're going to do? A, took all the time to find all the snakes, a lot of them venomous, put them all on the plane and do all this stuff, and then have these lays to have this pheromones to make the snakes crazy, or put a bomb in there. Boom. When it takes off, which do you think is easier? A bomb on a plane? This is part of my comment. A bomb on a plane? Or a bunch of snakes? I think the bomb would be easier. Why he didn't do that? Just there'd be no movie. So the whole idea is silly and ridiculous, but I think they knew that, and maybe people wanted to be a bit more insane and zany, like a Sharknado movie. Maybe that's what they were hoping for. So it's trying to be this balance where it's not Sharknado, but it's not, Air Force One or, Passenger 57. So it's trying to strike this balance, and it's a hard balance to have. So people that wanted more of a Sharknado effect, they're going to be disappointed. People, if you think the idea is stupid, you're not going to see the film anyway. It gives you the title, it gives you what you want. I think it did what it could with snakes on a plane. Yeah, I appreciate that it went R-rated and they didn't pussy out on it. Because if this was PG-13, it would have been pretty lackluster. But I liked Sam. I liked the pacing of the film. Yeah, some of the supporting characters, they're not that memorable, but some of them do have a goofy charm enough that they're tolerable. Like I said, I think it would have helped if Sam had a stronger sidekick that has some really fun back and forth banter with, where they have to work together. I think that could have helped matters. Are there predictable elements? Of course. You know that the pilot's going to get screwed up, and someone's going to have to land the plane. In this case, it's Keenan, who says he logged a lot of hours. Then you find out it's from video games, or as he puts it, flight simulators. Turn this motherfucker left, Troy! So, they're going to land the plane. It's not going to blow up. That'd be a hell of an ending. Maybe not an ending I prefer, but it'd be a different ending. But, you've seen that in so many movies, whether it be Executive Decision, whether it be back in the day, you watch episodes of the A-Team, or so many times it's like, well, if it's a plane movie, not all the time, but more than likely, the pilot's going to be screwed up, and it's up to the hero, or it's up to, they did an Executive Decision, where Kurt Russell and Halle Berry had to land the plane. Here, then Keenan and Sam Jackson have to land the plane. That happens a lot in stuff. So it does become a predictable plot point, a trope. But again, I think his heart was in the right place. I really do. So maybe I'm being more lenient than others, where I appreciate that they listened to an audience that didn't show up. But granted, it doesn't automatically should make a movie given a pass. I understand that. I'm not going to put up there in the upper echelon of creature feature killer animal movies, but I think it's charmingly fun enough as a B movie that I still had a good time watching it, even again, watching it the other day. Again, I like the mayhem that occurs. I like the pieces of violence, gore due to the added with additional photography. I think Sam Jackson, again, he looks like he's having fun. Nice to see him in the lead in this type of B creature feature movie. He doesn't feel like he's above it either, or he's not bored, or he's not phoning it in, his performance. So I appreciate that. Like I said, I like the flight attendant. I like Lin Shaye. I think Nathan Phillips, I think they could have recast that role to someone much more charismatic. The others, the girl with her pet chihuahua named Mary Kate, the rapper guy, Flex Alexander as 3Gs, a germaphobe. That character could have been killed off. I think he should have been killed off. Sonny Mabry as Tiffany, the flight attendant, develops a crush on Nathan Phillips' character. Yeah, Terry Chin as this professional kickboxer. Why even put him in there? I mean, there is a scene where he helps a lady. I guess he's so quick he kills a snake. But I mean, yeah, kickboxer. I mean, be over the top. Have him do some kicks. Snake comes and he does this, kickboxing kick on it or something. I don't know. Or have it be where the guy realizes his plan's going to shit, so he sends some bad guys in, and they get from one play to another, and then it's up to Sam and this kickboxer guy to fight some guys as well as some snakes. So maybe there's a fight scene and Sam uses snakes and throws it on the bad guy's face or something. Or maybe, I don't know how you would incorporate. No matter how you do it, it would not make sense, even less sense. So just the premise itself doesn't make sense. So I guess it depends like how nuts do you get. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts, as Michael Keaton would say. So maybe for a lot of people it's a lose-lose situation. It was never going to be a way to win. But I guess at the end of the day, I had fun with the movie. I had fun with the concept. Again, the fact that it's refreshing to see that kind of silly movie done with higher production values. Because I could be a sucker for those kind of silly, stupid movies as long as there's some energy or some talent or some heart into it. And I saw that with this. Not classic by far, but I don't think the movie's that bad. I still think it's a fun flick. Even the fact that they made their own music video. And in a way, that is what happened. They tried to make their own cult film, and I've said before, you cannot make it. It's earned. A cult film is earned. I don't think it's as annoying as some other films that try to be a cult film. I don't think it's as irritating as some of those. But it is one of those things that happen. It tried to be a cult film on purpose. It got overhyped when it came out. So I had expectations that it would not ever satisfy. But like I said, I still thought it was a fun flick. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.